Hello there. Oh, went a bit weird then. This is the gaming channel, and I have taken over. Ha 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 ha. That was a bit weird how that turned out. That evil laugh, but yeah. I did that. Well, it's a bit awkward.
Hello, everyone. What is going on?
James
here. Actually, no, I should change the colour to grey because the Bad Batch are sort of like greyish colour, aren't they? So there we go. Boom! There we go. So I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Liam Easthope.
Hello there.
So today we shall be talking about the Bad Batch. So I actually hadn't watched the Clone Wars Season 7 Bad Batch episode, so I was totally cold turkey going in. I still haven't watched them going into the Bad Batch. And I was really interested straight away. Even if you haven't seen, even if you are going in cold turkey like me, straight away we need the Bad Batch. Where's your squad? They're saying to that Jedi kid with the really deep voice. And then the Bad Batch come in and wreck us straight away.
Yeah, I was going to say a quick thing there. Yeah, because that Jedi, that kid is Kanan Jarrus, and he's in Star Wars Rebels. And the funny thing is that the same voice actor who voiced him in Rebels was voicing him here, but it doesn't sound like convincing as a kid. Sounds too deep and too.
It sounds way too deep. It
sounds
too
adult-like. Yeah.
At first, I thought he was a dwarf or something. I thought, is he meant to be a dwarf or something? You know, like how can his voice be that deep if he's a teenager?
No,
obviously, he wasn't.
Well, sounds too old, yeah.
Yeah. Straight away, the skills are showcased. The Bad Batch wreck all the clankers, and then Order 66 happens. The Bad Batch are not affected by it, though, but the rest of the clones turn on that Jedi, and Crosshair tries to shoot the kid with the deep voice. The kid with the deep voice runs off and legs it, and Crosshair's trying to shoot him, but the kid kicks Crosshair's ass. He just front kicks him into a tree, and then Crosshair gets knocked out. And then the kid runs away and jumps over a cliff onto the other side. And then Crosshair's like, "So what happened to him?" And then Hunter's like, "Well, he got away. So there you go, Crosshair." And then
to be fair, that was a pretty good Crosshair impression.
Yeah. The Hunter one needs some work. Sadly, I can't impersonate a New Zealand accent that well, but I'll keep trying.
Yeah, Crosshair's voice is quite different. So
yeah. So anyway, they go. It's an hour and a half. This first episode, and that's what I really like about it. Straight away, you really get to know the Bad Batch really, really well. And then they're eating lunch, and Omega comes in, and she's like, "Oh, hello. How's it going?" And having a laugh with them. And then they're all like, "What the hell is this kid doing here?" And then they start throwing hands, and we see the Bad Batch do really well. Apart from Echo, who gets WWE style hit on the head with a tray, and then he's knocked out, and he has to go in the medical room. But he ends up being all right. It's cool how we get to see their room as well. That's quite cool. Their cheeky little dorm area on Kamino, because I hadn't been there for years. It was quite interesting that they're like on a PG kids show. You see a dead body being hoisted away, a dead Jedi, and their hand. Remember on the medical thing? Yeah. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, but you see a lot of like stuff like that, and even darker stuff in the Clone Wars.
True, yeah. I remember being a kid and watching a thing in the Clone Wars where this snake was going into their ear and their eyes were going back into their head, and they were possessed.
That was the brain worms. Yeah,
that creeped me out so much as a kid. Like, genuinely.
Horror stuff.
How can you have that in a bloody PG show? Bloody hell. Are there worse things in a PG show?
I mean, that was sort of like scary, but I mean, there were some darker. I'd say there were some darker things, like
I guess as long as it's not like Jar Jar Binks when Mace Windu, that adventure was scary as anything. That really would scare you off.
As interesting.
So,
interesting stuff.
I'm looking forward to binging the Clone Wars eventually and watching that Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks one. That is going to be very eventful. And that one George Lucas loves where all the droids are in the deserts because it's poetry, you know, it's poetic in the desert. So there's a load of droids in the desert with this really little creature.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah, what I like about the first episode is obviously it's an hour and a half, gives you loads of time to know the Bad Batch. Crosshair is sort of like, you know, fucked him off. He's like, I want to be a part of the Empire now. But you think it's just his chip at first. And but anyway, the Bad Batch escape and Wrecker gets shot, and you're like, bloody hell, he can take a bullet. How did he survive that? You know, like bloody hell, man, that is madness.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget as well that Crosshair's inhibitor chip gets amplified, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, they amplify it at first, so that's why he turns on the Bad Batch. And the shock troopers being there, you think, oh shit, something up. And I like how it's simultaneously, you know, when like the bit where Palpatine's talking and he's going, "The First Galactic Empire." That was obviously silent when Padme's like, "Democracy dies." That's happening simultaneously as the clones are watching it, so that's cool. And obviously the shock troopers being there, Grand Moff Tarkin, he must have aced that job interview because he wasn't employed by the Empire until that episode, was he? So Palpatine must have been like, "So you're a kiss ass who isn't force sensitive then?" "Yes." "Brilliant, you're hired for unlimited power." And then he rolls up to Kamino, and then the Kamino Prime Minister, and what's her name, Valasai or whatever.
Nala Se. No, the Prime Minister is Lama Su, and then you've got the scientist who is Nala Se.
Nala Se and Lama Su, are they like married?
No, well, not as far as I know. And then you've got the one from Attack the Clones as well. What's her name?
What happened to her?
Torn Wee, she's called, I think.
What happened to her though?
Well, you find out later on in the show, don't you? If you remember.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm guessing she gets blown up. It's a bit shame that the Prime Minister gets wrecked by a few Phase Zero stormtroopers. So,
yeah, well, that's much later on. Yeah.
So, way late. Are you gutted that he dies, or do you not care because he's a bit of a naff character?
Well, presumably he's dead, isn't he? Because Kamino's like being destroyed, and
well, the stormtrooper shut the door and shot him a load of times.
Yeah, but you don't hear any blaster fire, do you? But we're assuming that they shot him, so presumably he's dead, isn't he? I don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate. What? Sorry.
I was going to say, even if he somehow survived the shots, the Kamino base is like all the way at the bottom of the ocean. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, got skills with the Bad Batch, so he would definitely be stuck there.
I mean, you know, I don't know whether to say it's unfortunate that he's dead because he's not. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. It's just, you know, that isn't it? It's just tying up stuff from Attack the Clones and marking the end of an era. Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so they escape, and then episode 2, they go to this planet with dirt on it, and then they find this clone who shagged this alien. No, sorry, they obviously have had it away, but they adopted kids. He didn't have kids with this alien. So anyway, they've got 2 kids, and Omega, when she gets out of the ship, she's like, "Oh my god, dirt!" Because obviously she's had a mad sheltered life on Kamino, so that's really interesting to see someone who's just been in a base their whole life and been experimented on to actually experiencing nature. I like how they bring that creature from the Attack of the Clones, a Geonosis arena. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And obviously that was quite a, you know, like, oh damn. I mean, obviously Omega's not going to be in any trouble, but it's still a risk, isn't it? Really, still a bit of a risk. So obviously she plays with the other kids, and she's a bit confused at first because she didn't really have much of a social life, did she?
No.
So, but yeah, they meet this clone who's settled down, which is cool. And Rex had been there a few days ago, so you're thinking, damn, what's going on? I also like how we actually see the how the Empire's taken over. You know, they're making everyone have IDs, and their ship have IDs and everything, so they've got to escape. It's quite crazy how the clones get so easily beaten by the Bad Batch, but I suppose they're just like modified, aren't they? So,
like they're meant to be better than the regs, aren't they?
Yeah.
as the Bad Batch call them, but that's what the other clones are known as well. So
yeah. It's cool how Omega chooses to stay with the Bad Batch in the end, though. A last-minute decision, which I was sort of like, obviously it'd be a bit stupid to introduce a character then get rid of him like that. But I sort of thought for Omega's sake, do you really want to go around with a load of soldiers? But she's technically their sister and they're her brothers. Fair enough, fair play to her. So yeah. Next episode, the Bad Batch. Oh, have you got anything else you want to say about episode 2?
No, like you said, it was interesting to just see the Empire taking over, and there were, because I think the planet they were on is it was Seleucami, and that clone is called Cutler Quain. And yeah, you just see the Empire taking over, don't you? And there's mention, there's multiple mentions of chain codes, and you mentioned the ID, and then they managed to get Cut and his wife or partner and the children off world, don't they? I believe, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, the next episode they crash on a moon, don't they? Because the ship was a bit damaged previously. Omega really comes into her own in this one as a part of the squad, because she actually does shit herself in this one. Like, she has to go out and try and get that battery from the dragon, doesn't she, or something? I can't remember exactly what she has to get from the dragon.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember this episode. I'm just looking.
It's a bit forgettable, isn't it, really? Apart from when Crosshair goes through. Oh, yeah. Do you remember? I forgot to mention the first one, yeah? They were meant to take out a load of innocent people, and they said no to Tarkin's thing after they took down a load of them.
Oh, yeah.
Droids,
yeah, they went, no. Yeah. They met Saw Gerrera, didn't they? Yeah. And the rebels, yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, and they didn't do it. Yeah.
But yeah, one of them is like, I like how in the episode 3 I like the Crosshair stuff in this one, but the stuff with them being stranded on the moon, it's a bit forgettable for me. It's not necessarily awful, but it's just a bit. That stuff I'd say is a bit below average. Personally, it's not bad, but I found it a bit forgetful. But I love the Crosshair stuff, and I loved how the recruits. You hear the recruits' perspective, and they're like, the Empire did this for me. They put a roof over my head. They've given me money, blah, 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 blah. But then the other recruits like, oh, well, they're a bit weird. And obviously one of the recruits says, no, I'm not killing innocent people. What the fuck's wrong with you lot? And then Crosshair kills him. And then they shoot all the rebels. So, almost.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, interesting to just like where they go back and forth between the Bad Batch and, Crosshair and the... and those troopers. And, like you said, they just murder those people, don't they? Yeah.
And it just shows how brutal Crosshair is and how the chip can really just make people just like, make the clones just follow orders at will. But the regular people were, I think a lot of them were doing it out of fear, but obviously that one guy was like, no, I don't want to kill innocent people. What the hell? But then obviously Tarkin is thinking about conscripted soldiers, isn't he? And there's a bit of stuff between him and Lama Su. They're like, oh, what are we going to do? And I swear they mention about like making newer clones or something.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the episode, isn't there that scene where you've got, I think, Lama Su and Nala Se talking about Phase 3 clone troopers? I think it's that episode, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that, that got a lot of people talking about that. And
maybe it could have been Force sensitive clone troopers or Bad Batch clone troopers. They could have kept trying to clone the Bad Batch, or Omega clone troopers, because she obviously doesn't age that fast, does she? She ages really slowly. And obviously Palpatine, he wanted to live forever. Well, he didn't. He got disintegrated by the ray. But they're probably
it depends on whether they're going to.
Imagine if he comes back somehow in a TV show. Like, that'd be mental.
I don't know. I mean, maybe before episode 9, but I was just going to say though, they might tie it into the sequel trilogy, or they might just tie it into the Mandalorian, which they sort of are tying things into the Mandalorian and doing their thing with the Filoniverse and all those shows, which are meant to culminate in a special event, I think. So hopefully it's just that, but
but so far I'd say Aftermath was absolutely amazing. Cut and Run was above average, and Replacements was a smidge above average because I really did like the stuff with Crosshair and all that crap, but just the Ordor Moon was a bit boring.
I can't even remember their mission. I was just looking it up.
And
on
usually your memory is really good about shit. So if you're forgetting about it, it must have been fucking forgettable.
Yeah, I can remember, like I say, the Crosshair stuff and the Camino stuff, but I can't really remember what they were doing. Like it said about a dragon, like you said, but I can't really remember that stuff really. Just the good stuff.
Yeah. So the next episode is Cornered. So what happens is they go on to the nearest planet, and then this little thing with flabby cheeks comes and has a go at them, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to bribe you." I can't remember what it's a. There's another species, like basically he's an iconic species in Star Wars, but he's just got big fat cheeks, face cheeks. He's really little.
It might be same species as Nien Nunb. Nien Nunb.
Yeah, Nien Nunb. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And that's all good in the neighborhood, you know. Basically, though, they have to repair their ship again, which it's like, okay, fair enough, whatever, repair your ship again. It's sort of just them going around this city, really. It was kind of funny when Echo got sold to that guy to be a droid, and the back and forth between Echo and the C-3PO type droid. That was kind of funny, I suppose. And then he's like, I'm the leader now, and they all escape, that guy. Fennec Shan. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, isn't this the episode that introduces Mantel Mix? You know, that's like popcorn or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Food, yeah. I don't know. The Wrecker and Omega are just eating that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Introduces that, and that got some that you know, got some people talking, and go on.
But yeah, so Fennec Shang sort of abducts Omega in a very friendly manner. She's like, "Oh, it's okay to steal, you know, and you need a blaster to protect yourself." Then Hunter tries to save Omega. He gets his ass kicked, which makes sense. But then when bloody Wrecker tries to save Omega, he gets his ass kicked too. And he got so easy. I think he was like a judo throw, and I was like, this guy is like an insanely hench, massive bloke who can smash beat 3 clone troopers in one swoop. I'm sorry, he is going to put up a fight against Fennec Shan, who is, I mean, she doesn't look like a genetically modified lady, so I'm assuming she's probably stronger than most Earth ladies, but she ain't as strong as some massive genetically modified clone. So it should have been an even fight, but then she gets the upper hand. He shouldn't have got his ass kicked easily by like a bloody judo throw. That doesn't make any sense. That's like me getting beat by a little old lady in one foul swoop. It doesn't make any sense. You know,
I know that was disappointing. That was, and it just made Wrecker look like a bit of a joke again, didn't it?
I like to blow things up because I like to blow things up.
Yeah, because it's annoying when you get these big characters who are meant to be strong, and you think, oh, these characters are going to be taken seriously, and then they're not, or they have moments where they're not.
A big goofball, for fuck's sake! It just makes it look daft.
I know.
Oh yeah, I found interesting that they're building up to because he hits his head when they crash, and he keeps saying his head hurts quite a bit, and he's the sort of dude who can take a shot and be fine. His body heals itself really easily, so that's interesting how they build up to that. But yeah, Fennec. I mean, the thing is, when they have like Fennec and Cad Bane later on, I just don't see the point because we know exactly what happens to these characters. There's no stakes when they're fighting each other. It's just sort of like, okay, they're having a fun fight and whatever. The only one who's got stakes is that little robot who's really replaceable. That one who flies around, the posh tosh, the guy who just kisses Cad Bane's arse all the time.
Oh yeah, Todo 360. Yeah.
Honestly, though, this episode was very below average. I was really bored with this one. The action at the end in the speeder was really cool, but apart from that, and Fennec surviving that explosion, but like apart from that, it was a bit of. I like how you realise Fennec's working for the scientist lady. What's her name? Lama Shay.
No, Nala Say.
Nala Say. Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was a decent episode. Like the action was good, and like you say, that last bit with the speeders was good, but not one of the best episodes though.
Yeah, I just felt like it was below average for me, probably the weakest one so far, because I just sort of felt like it was just sort of them farting about for like 25 minutes, but each their own in it. Next episode is when you meet Sid. So the Jedi,
Yeah.
you think, oh, the Jedi trusted Sid. Sid must be a sound lady, but obviously Sid is just a bit of a crook and a sleaze. So, but she's okay. She I think she's good at heart. She's just too money obsessed. That's a problem, and I feel like she's desperate because the Empire have ruined the trade. But yeah, they're good to Sid, and then Sid's like, all right, I'm gonna do something for Jabba the Hutt, but you have to do it for me. Go and rescue the child. And then they're like, okay, we just got to rescue some kid. That's cool. And then he's called Mushi. And then it's just some young Rancor. And you're like, what the hell's going on? But what's funny is, what makes me laugh, though, is that Wrecker's able to wrestle this Rancor into submission, but he can't beat a little skinny lady. Like, I'm sorry, what the hell is this? The strength has so much inconsistency. If he's getting wrecked by Fennec Shang in a swoop, he should have got bitch slapped by this Rancor. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm glad we got to see his strength on show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could say that she was using the environment to advantage and then knocked him into that pipe or whatever it was. I don't know, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and yeah, it's just some interesting stuff with him and the Rancor. Yeah,
and we get to see Bib Fortuna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tying into Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, even though we know his fate, he gets shot up by Boba Fett at the end of the Mandalorian. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a fat Bib Fortuna.
Oh yeah, chubby Bib.
Yeah.
But
I think that Rancor is probably, well, we don't know for sure, but we're assuming it's the one in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, most probably. Yeah, who the fat man cries over.
Yeah, so.
But anyway, that episode was above average. It was decent fun.
Yeah, it's decent. Again, not one of the best, but yeah.
So anyway, the next one is here we go, Decommissioned. So this one was the thing is, we get a handful of episodes which is just like Sid. As much as I subjectively enjoy them, objectively the same thing happening over and over again, and the characters starting off where they ended off in loads of episodes. It's just sort of like there isn't much rewatchability, and it isn't really groundbreaking. They do the best with what they could have done with those episodes, but it's nothing like, it doesn't bring the story forward. It's just sort of like the Bad Batch trying to survive and make money. But I prefer like original stories, but they're still very good. But anyway, let's talk about the missions. So Sid hires the Batch to get a separatist tactical droid for its intel. It is at a Corellian decommissioning site. They encounter police. Oh yeah, this was really cool actually, to be fair. The two rebel ladies were cool, but then they stab them in the back at the end, and then we don't hear anything off of them at the end.
This is the one with the Marte sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
the Clankers are programmed in this one to fight alongside the Bad Batch, so that was quite interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Clone Wars stuff in there and whatever, yeah.
And good, what made no sense, though, they're so desperate for money, the Bad Batch, and they've got a kid to feed, yet they gave those two sisters the droid's data at the end. And I'm thinking, what's the point? What? And then they're just a bunch of grifters anyway, so like even more pointless, but we don't hear from them again. So I think a decent episode, decent fun, great action, cool how the droids fight with them. Cool stuff, I guess.
And there's if you remember, there's that scene as well with Wrecker, to do with the inhibitor chip as well, because I'm not sure whether
what happens to him in that one.
I don't know whether he hits his head again or something, but there's just a scene where I think he hears things and it's like his head's getting worse and the inhibitor chips starting to take more really take control of his mind. I think there's that scene as well, which is cool.
Now the next two episodes are absolutely fucking amazing in my opinion. So Battle Scars, Rex comes back, absolutely love it. I'm like, oh man, Rex is here. And they've got to do a big job for Sid to get their debt, to pay the debt for her. They're interrupted by Trace and Rafa's mystery client, their old friend, Captain Rex. Hey! who is alarmed to learn the Bad Batch have not yet removed their inhibitor chips like he has. They go to a starship graveyard.
It's I think it's Braca from Jedi Fallen Order. You know, the planet at the start.
Yeah, I remember.
So nice tie in there.
Yeah, and so it's very interesting though. I love the talking between them and Rex. I love their camaraderie as well in it. Very, very good stuff. The scene where Wrecker, you know, it shows what the inhibitor chip can do. He nearly kills Omega. He doesn't care that he can that you know who these people are. He's just going to kill anyone who doesn't obey. Shows how dangerous the inhibitor chip is. You think, shit, what's his face? Wrecker's going to die, bloody hell! But obviously he's fine in the end, which is good.
Well, and Wrecker's actually like, you know, he's really dangerous in this episode as well, isn't he? He's he's a like, you know, the Bad Batch find it difficult to contend with him. Yeah,
very dangerous. A lot of fun though, amazing episodes. It's sort of one of those that you can't really talk about a shit ton. You just sort of have to watch it for yourself. But yeah, amazing, loved it. And then Reunion, this is amazing. The action in this is phenomenal. I love how the Bad Batch's backs are up against the wall. This is something I actually do like the show, how they're on the run. Somewhat subjectively to me, which I really love, just how their backs are against the wall. They've got the whole Empire after them. They've got someone who the Empire's after, Omega, and their whole backs are against the wall, but they just find a way. And the way they do find a way is most of the time very interesting. It just doesn't make them come across as indestructible. So, because they find smart ways of solving things.
Oh yeah, this is where isn't this where Crosshair comes to Braca?
Yeah.
He
stops the Bad Batch from getting to their ship, so they attempt to escape through the cruiser's engine, and then Crosshair pins them inside, and he's going to turn the engine on, but they use explosives to escape, which was a really tense, amazing action scene. And the engine's ignition wrecked Crosshair, really hurt him. Yeah. But then Cad Bane shows up, and I'm sort of hyped. I'm sort of like, But fair play to Hunter for standing off against him. But obviously, he gets his ass kicked by Cad Bane.
Don't forget, though, you don't know what will happen to Cad Bane, because we don't know, do we? He's not, you know, past the Bad Batch. He's not in any other Star Wars shows, or
maybe he'll get killed off in season 2 or 3, or maybe if we see him in the Mandalorian, though, it's concrete that he survives.
Yeah.
I'm glad Rex wasn't in it though, because it does give you a bit of tension, really, because you know that Rex is in Rebels and probably, I don't know, makes it to a decent age before he dies. He's definitely not alive in the sequel trilogy. He is dead because clones age twice as fast.
Something I'll tell you is there's a rebel in the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi, and it was like an old looking rebel, and it was retconned so that rebel is Rex.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
Rex is like 85 running around.
Maybe he's still alive then. So
fair play that he cares about bringing up, but he's obviously not alive in the sequel trilogy. He's good as dead. He must have died a bit.
You would have thought so.
Then
maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, very interesting ending how Omega gets captured.
Yeah, and you get that. Of course, you get that standoff with Hunter and Cad Bane, and Cad Bane wins. Yeah, some interesting music as well, like Western music with Cad Bane, and I think that was the mid. Well, it's the middle episode, isn't it, of the series, episode 8? Yeah, so it's sort of like with other Star Wars shows, that would be the mid-series finale, they'd call it, and then there'd be a break, because usually that would happen at, say, Christmas or whatever, December. So, and then they'd have a break until, say, the new year, and then the next and then the series the next half of the series would continue. But of course, because of Bad Batch being on Disney Plus, it's just, you know, you get the next episode the week after and so on. So yeah.
But yeah, stuff. Bounty Lost. I found Bounty Lost very, very good. Not as amazing as the other two, but still very, very good. So yeah, they chase Cad Bane. They go to some random. Well, it's sort of like Omega managing to escape herself, really, because Cad Bane and Fennec fight, and it's really cool. But you know, Fennec's not going to die. I'll tell you about what I said about Cad Bane because of the point you said. He could have died, I guess. But I just feel like they're gonna. I don't know.
This is the episode where they find Torn Wee dead from Attack of the Clones.
Where's Torn Wee dead?
They go to the. I'm trying to think.
Oh, here we are. Yeah, sends Torn Wee to retrieve Omega.
Yeah, because of course Torn Wee's the one who Obi-Wan saw when he first landed on Kamino and attacked the clones, and then she
Oh
was
yeah,
with him.
Tormwee gets shot. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that
that's
was
sad. She was an all right
interesting. Yeah.
person. She was an all right person, wasn't she?
I suppose.
Or was she an arsehole?
Well, you'll just need to watch the Clone Wars to find out more about like Kamino and the Kaminoans. So.
But yeah, doesn't she just get shot and killed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shan kills Tormwee and duels Bane, allowing Omega to escape and be relieved by the Bad Batch. Yeah, very good episode. Damn, so I can't believe someone from Attack of the Clones, they killed him off. There you go. But yeah, good episode. Common Ground on Raxus was the seat of the Separatist government during the Clone Wars. The Empire institutes new curfew laws. Yeah, so basically the Empire Senator Avi Singh, while addressing the public, Singh actually stands up to the Empire and he's like, no, fuck you. And then they arrest him. And then the protocol droid hires the Bad Batch, which is really cool. You know that fat guy with the big long... yes, Declan, how's it going, man? You good, man? But yeah, that dude with the big long sausages on his ear. You know that dude with the big long ears? Oh, I can't remember his name. The really
Oh
fat
yeah,
guy.
Orn Fritar. Yeah.
Yeah, the bloater. He's in it, isn't he? He's just an absolute sleaze.
No, he's not in that one, is he? Is it the episode after? Is it? I think it's the episode after. Because this one, you get the ATTEs pop up and you get some cool action, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, the action's a shit ton of fun in this one. I like how they change their blasters to stun instead of kill now that they know the clones are being messed up by inhibitor chips. The escape chase with the is it the ATETs? That was really cool.
ATTE, yeah.
All good, man. Hope everyone's good. You doing good, then, Liam?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. Thanks for asking, Molly boy.
But yeah, so the ATT escape was absolutely awesome. How that Singh guy knew where the tunnels were. That was great, and they escaped. And then Singh nearly stopped behind. He was like, "No, I need to stop behind my people." Blah 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 blah. But they're like, "You can't do anything, you know, if you're going to be dead or locked up." And then he's like, "Fair enough." Then they run off. Well, then they fly off. Sorry. So yeah, that was a good, fun episode. And then Devil's Deal. Yeah, the last one was called Common Ground, but yeah, Devil's Deal when the Senator Orn Fritar. Oh yeah, this was the one I didn't really enjoy at all. Isn't this the one without the Bad Batch in it?
And well, most of the episodes, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake, I don't particularly care about these aliens that much. They're all right characters. The most interesting stuff for me was Hauser being very hesitant. I suppose I suppose it breaks things up and expands the universe a bit. And that fat guy gets shot at the end, the one I was talking about earlier, Orn Fritar. Yeah. And I like how I was going to say actually though, as much as Tarkin's more interesting, I do like how Rampart's the main villain because we know what happens to Tarkin. Okay. Gets blown up in the Death Star. But yeah. So I like how Rampart's actually the villain. And he's a decent villain, but I think Crosshair's the best villain. But yeah, they get kidnapped at the end. It's just sort of like, I don't know, sort of like they're trying to rise up against the Empire a bit of politics here and there. But honestly, I'd say it's slap bang average. I don't want to shit on it too much because there isn't really too much wrong with it. But I just found a lot of it. I don't know. I just would have preferred if the Bad Batch was there a bit more, apart from just like one cheeky weapon trade scene.
Yeah, interesting. An interesting episode, and they took it in a different direction by not really focusing on the Bad Batch. But yeah, one of the probably one of the weaker episodes. Yeah.
And then we have Rescue on Ryloth. And that one was a fair bit of fun, even though we already had a rescue mission a few episodes ago. It's whatever, I suppose. It was decent fun. The main thing that was interesting for me was how Hauser helped to escape, but it was pretty much very action heavy.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and you saw the sort of tension between Hauser and Crosshair as well, and then Hauser lets the Bad Batch and the others escape, and And some of those clone troopers, they do put their blasters down. I think
Yeah,
put the blaster
so
rifles down,
like
and they get arrested too.
Yeah, it's like the effects of the chip are wearing off. The clones are finally like coming to their senses a bit. Again, there ain't a crap ton to say about this. I just like Hauser's turn in it. I like how it's just a fun episode, really. Just very action packed, very action heavy. At first, Hunter's sort of like, I don't want to do this, too much of a risk, but then Omega's like, we got to help everyone. So there you go.
And then at the end, I think Rampart, Crosshair asks permission to, I think, eliminate the Bad Batch or go after them, and then Rampart lets him. So
he says, agreed, go for it, Crosshair, you dazzling old man. So... And then the next one is Infested. Oh no, yeah, this one was very, 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 very average for me. So, what was the one where Omega plays the game for Sid and wins Sid a load of money? That was right before, wasn't it?
It's Common Ground, that one, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do like how Sid and Omega have a bit of a laugh and all that jazz. That was kind of cool. But anyway, let's talk about Infested. So this guy called Roland comes in and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He's got big horns on his head. So basically, these, what are they called? The Pikes. They're obsessed.
Yeah, the Pike Syndicate, yeah.
The Pike Syndicate are obsessed with the spice. So Sid has to get the spice. Don't they lose the spice at first and then they have to go back and get it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And there's these crazy annoying bees. I suppose there was some good episode where but like we don't get to really see how tough the Pikes are. All we really see is them just say, well, you have to give it to us, then you have to give us the spices, otherwise we'll kick your ass. It was
I know, yeah. You could argue it was a bit disappointing when they didn't basically behead Roland.
That too, yeah.
Roland or whatever. Yeah.
They just
like I say, yeah, it was okay, an okay episode, but yeah, I mean,
it was interesting at the start. I was just going to say it was interesting at the start how Sid lost the business, but that was about it, really.
Yeah, like I said to you after the episode as well. I guess it was interesting how, it showed. I guess it provided more character development for Omega as well, didn't it? She managed to, I guess, probably persuade the Pikes to not kill him and just cut off his horn, and I can't really remember what else I said, but yeah. But now again, one of the weaker episodes, I'd say. Yeah.
But then we come swinging out with we get to see the Republic Commandos, which is really cool.
Oh yeah,
not the ones from the video game, but like random Republic Commandos, and they do throw down with the Bad Batch, and they're fairly competitive when it comes to fighting. But they have to rescue this guy called Gregor.
Gregor.
Greg. Rex asked them to, and I accidentally said Greg instead of Rex, but yeah, Rex asked them to rescue Gregor. And Gregor's very odd. He seems like some weird disco guy from the 90s who just is stoned out of his mind. But we see that there's some phase. I'm just going to call them Phase Zero stormtroopers.
They're known as TK troopers.
Oh, TK. What does that stand for?
I don't think that's known.
Oh, okay. So it's just TK troopers then.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So we got some TK troopers, and they're trying to look up TK421, the stormtrooper. Who are the TK troopers? Who are eventually renamed stormtrooper? Oh, okay. But yeah, anyway, TK troopers. So they're all right. The designs are kind of okay. They look a bit bulky like the stormtroopers. Yeah, decent. The ending was really cool. How he actually got captured in the end. That was and Hunter bloody surviving that fall from the bloody hell. What a beast!
Yeah,
managed to land in the trees a bit and survive. And I love how so many that they're so intimidated by the Bad Batch. They send like the whole army to just point a gun at him and arrest him. And then Crosshair comes in at the end, and you're like, oh shit! There you go.
Yeah, like I say, good action. Interested to see those like sort of troopers who are dressed like commandos, And then you had that other commando as well, who looks like, or people thought was a character from Republic Commando, but apparently isn't. You know, the one who got stunned, who only knocked out when he got stunned multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
When he got hit multiple times by the stun.
Oh yeah,
blasts, stun rays, or whatever. Yeah, it just felt like the stakes were higher in this episode too, and
yeah, definitely.
It felt like, in a sense, anything could have happened, and then at the end of the episode, it was sort of an interesting end with Hunter getting captured. So
yeah.
And
anyway, so the next one was what was it now?
Part 1 of the finale. Return to Camino, Part 1. Well,
so anyway, really cool, because I was really hyped for this one. Crosshair and Hunter's back and forth was really cool. I like how they went in through a hidden entrance too, but the whole place was deserted, so you think straight away something's weird's going on. The exchange back and forth between Hunter and Crosshair was really interesting. How they're all like, "What the hell were you playing at?" And then he shoots his whole squad, and he's like, "Now do you trust me?" And then, but then I like how you see them all fighting side by side. That was really fun again to see the whole Bad Batch together fighting off. Was it the big robots?
I think they're meant to be, or possibly be, like prototypes or early versions of, the Dark Troopers we saw in The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
I think there might be early versions of those. Yeah,
that's cool. But yeah, great fun. Really enjoyed it. Great episode. And then Crosshair gets shot at the end, and then he's like, "Oh, you left me behind." And then they're like, "Well, we didn't have a choice."
Yeah, well, they stunned him, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. But then obviously they pick him up and run with him this time, so that's cool.
And then, of course, at the end, you've got the Star Destroyers in the sky, or, orbiting the planet.
And they start opening fire.
Yeah. So then they're trapped. Yeah. And then that's a good cliffhanger. Yeah. Oh, and of course, don't forget, you have those shots at the end as well it shows the different like facilities, rooms in Topeka City that we've seen in Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars. The rooms with the cloning pods and the other rooms, but they're all empty, so it's quite sort of interesting and poignant, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great episode, as I say. So the next one is the finale, which is called
Camino
Lost. Yeah. Crap ton of fun. Really enjoyed it. I know it was very slow paced. Just them escaping was interesting, how they found a way even out of the shittiest situation ever, where it seemed to be done for. And I like how they escape in the pods that they were made in. It was cool. I feel like, though, this is a small issue I have with Omega's character. She's sort of too good. Like, would you seriously be this eager to help Crosshair, some guy who's tried to kill you 1 billion times? I know he's technically her brother and whatever, but come on. He tried to kill you 1 million times and he wasn't really that grateful, but I suppose he saved her at the end and he was like, "We're even."
So, I know, yeah, it can, that can be annoying. It can.
I just find it too
annoying,
good. Yeah, I just find her like she's way too good. I just feel like this isn't applicable, especially for a kid. And what you wouldn't go to this length to save Crosshair, who's just basically been an arse and said, "Well, I was acting on free will this whole time. I don't actually care for you. I care about the Empire." Crosshair, he's sort of like the villain you love to hate, because in reality, he's just so deluded and foolish. He just needs some sort of person to follow, even though, as Hunter said, all he is to them is a number. They fucking blew it up with him inside. I mean, it's absolutely stupid,
Yeah, like I said, I thought this episode was good. Felt like, I know, like I said, it wasn't. Like I said to you, it wasn't a big spectacle and a big battle, but they were escaping, and it was sort of like more sort of personal and intimate, because it was just focusing on the Bad Batch and Crosshair, and that what's his name? I think the robot's the droid's called AZ. Yeah, and that was interesting to see them. Yeah, there's some good sort of action there, and the soundtrack was great again. Added to the emotion, and then, like you mentioned, there's that point where the droid ran out of battery, and then Crosshair actually saved the droid and Omega.
Yeah. I don't see why she saved the droid. She literally was. The odds were so stacked against her to survive that. She was so far down. Like, you can remake the droid, for God's sake.
I just thought maybe the droid would actually just, die in a sense, but no, not. I mean, they saved it, and then I guess it's with them.
I guess it added a bit of final tension, didn't it? So
it did, yeah, with the soundtrack as well. So that made it sad.
And then at the end, Crosshair's like, "Fuck you all! I'm staying. I want to be a part of it." And you're like, "Oh."
And of course, we actually see Camino in the daytime as well, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's
not raining. Yeah, that sounds interesting. And then they see the destruction in the distance. And like I said to you as well, I thought there's some. I really liked the cinematography in this one, like certain shots of Camino, and there's one shot where Crosshairs. I'm not sure, they're in a room. It might be that room with the pods that they were born in, and he's just walking along, and he's just. It's sort of like a wide shot or whatever, and Crosshairs just going over by the window, whatever, and sitting there. Oh, and you actually see Crosshair sort of do this with his head as well, don't you?
So you sort of think maybe the chip's still in there messing with him.
Yeah, it's either that or he's. Yeah, it seems like maybe
he's in where he got blown up.
Yeah, maybe something's still going on with his head, or yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
maybe it's just him feeling conflicted, which you did see him feel a bit conflicted, but he just cares so much about being a part of this empire. I think he just thinks it's his legacy, and no matter what, he's got to be loyal. He's got to just follow orders. But that's stupid, because imagine if you was in the army and your general told you to run around the streets naked. Well, you wouldn't do that. You'd say you're joking. But Crosshair genuinely would, because he's a fucking idiot. But yeah, there you go. He's a fucking idiot that you love to dislike. I hope he does make a face turn in series 2 or 3, though. I hope he does realise that the Empire just see him as extremely expendable. But maybe, but at least we keep him as a villain for series 2, and Rampart's the villain for series 2 as well. So yeah, cool stuff.
And then there's that. There's also that part where that sea monster shows up.
Oh yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Electrocuted it.
And then that makes it go away, and just trying to think of what else to say, really. Yeah, but
well, I'm just going to go on. A pretty great episode. I know some people really weren't bothered about it, or they just thought it was okay, but I really thought it was great. Overall, subjectively, I absolutely love the Bad Batch. It's an amazing, fun show. 10 out of 10 subjectively, but objectively, it's probably an 8.2, because there are some issues with it. There's too much repetitiveness instead of like original stories, like with Sid's missions over and over and over and over and over again. I know it, but the way they do it, I don't mind it subjectively too much, because it makes sense for them to want to make money and make more money and do better, and they are fun missions. But at the same time, objectively, I'd rather see like more original stories, rather than. I just wish they had less Sid missions, but hopefully that'll be the case in series 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I'll give this series. Probably. I don't know. I want to give it a 9. I want to give it a 9.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe. I was thinking 8.59, maybe around that area. But I was just going to say, I think highlights of the series have been the soundtrack again, being quite different compared to, say, earlier series of the Clone Wars and other shows. I liked that. Cinematography and great animation too. The animation just keeps getting better.
Definitely.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
It is really cool to see what's going on straight after Order 66. That was a big deal for me, straight after we see how the galaxy is being affected and what the clones are doing. So that was really cool. Yeah, overall, it is pretty great. But I hope Series 2 does better. I hope it works. The problems I had with it, Omega's too good. But she's still a good character. She's still way better than I thought she'd be. And the Bad Batch are crap ton of fun to to watch on screen. So yeah, overall pretty great. And Crosshair's a great villain. Rampart's a pretty good villain. Yeah, fair play. Anyway, I think we can swiftly move on to looking at what this list ranked Star Wars films as. I would do a quiz, but there's only 2 of us, and we've done quite a few quizzes, so we might as well do this instead. Here we go. Star Wars films, worst to best. So
let's see what they say.
Yeah. Unranked holiday special. Have you ever watched the holiday special?
No, I haven't watched either of those 3 films there.
Do you think you ever watch it?
I don't know, maybe, but I'm just not.
For a laugh.
I know, maybe if they put it on Disney Plus, maybe, but
yeah.
But I'm just not bothered. Films. I don't know. I guess I'm not bothered.
Yeah, and scouring for the films might be a pain in the arse.
Maybe, but
here we go. The good Warwick Davis, Boba Fett, and B. Arthur wondering about her life decisions. In the franchise where Luke and Anakin's wine is legendary. Shipwrecked teen Mace Tawani's whining is somehow worse.
Whinging is yeah. I put episode 9 at the bottom. Okay.
I'm surprised, but I sort of get it.
Yeah, some people would put it at the bottom. Some people would say it's the worst.
You said it was an enjoyable experience.
Well, yeah, after my 2nd and 3rd viewings, yeah, but I still think it's, it should have been quite different and way more satisfying. And
I mean, I found it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say, with the way the sequel trilogy turned out and the films turned out, it just makes me think the sequel trilogy just shouldn't have happened, to be honest.
Yeah. At least the Star Wars telly's been amazing. Mandalorian amazing and Bad Batch pretty great objectively. Yeah. But obviously, I think they're both amazing subjectively. But yeah, here we go. So I mean, I found it just dead arse. It was too long. But I mean, putting it at the bottom, it's close. This, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and The Last Jedi are very close in my opinion. But I'd say Last Jedi is probably better than them. But here we go. Your favourite, Liam.
So there you go. It's not it's not the bottom, but it is, the last but one.
There's you, Liam, back in 1999 at the prime of your career, and there's I don't know. There you go. You and Liam Neeson. Oh, here we go. We have a lot of detail about the good and bad here. Duel the Fate score is one of the best. Yeah, it was. It is a film music ever. Yeah. Just the way it builds up, then goes dun 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 dun. Oh, I accidentally spat a bit on the laptop. Oh god.
Yeah.
Classic.
I can't go much higher. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's have a look at Duel of the Fates, blah blah blah. Darth Maul is sort of fun. Movie is desperately going for visual, whatever. That's mainly because of the lightsaber. He's cool. Bad structuring of the film, an endless detour to Tatooine is almost as bad as the structuring of the whole film around pointless detour to Coruscant, senatorial politics and all digital effects age poorly, but the Phantom Menace biggest set pieces are especially DOA today. Just compare plasticky, new Jabba, Return of the Jedi is magnificent, corpulent puppet. Paul J. Lloyd can't make any happen. No one can make any happen. Wait, what did they say about the this one? What was bad about this? Oh yeah, C3. Let's look at this. Lando, Wedge, Anthony Daniels getting natural role. The return of Kylo's stupid helmet. The dead speak, the Chewie death fake out. C3PO recovering his memory. Ray Palpatine, the dagger, the Wayfinder. The list goes on. Now I found his helmet. I think his helmet's awesome.
Yeah.
What the hell's their problem? Solo, this was decent fun. Come on.
I know, it's quite low, isn't it?
Star Wars. What are they playing at?
It's below The Last Jedi. What?
I disagree with this massively. Should I even bother reading this? It's a low. What is this doing here? This should
wow,
be
they've actually put Star Wars: The Clone Wars
They're
Wow.
on whoever made this, bloody hell, they must have been on some dodgy stuff. They must have been smoking something.
I mean, I
Wallace
like the Clone Wars film, and me personally, and but
L3,
I'm surprised they put it, above them. But there you go.
Comfortable ending and misuse of some otherwise charming characters. I mean, what a load of bollocks. Never mind, each to their own. I mean, this was boring rubbish. This was just boring rubbish, and this should not have been in the fucking cinema. This should not have been in the cinema. Like the way it looked. Ahsoka and Rex were good. Ahsoka was annoying, and Rex didn't have that much to him. Like, what? This is. Sorry, what do you want? What do you think, Liam?
Well, obviously, I'd have to disagree.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I mean, yeah, it was fun. I loved it. The lightsaber duels as well, and the action and the soundtrack.
No, the action was just so static and like robotic. It was like
it wasn't. It was like no, it wasn't.
It didn't flow at all. It was rubbish. Liam, rubbish. Get out of here. He's done. I'm done with him. Sacked from the pocket. No, I'm joking. Go on. Now I was
going to say the start of the film as well, the Battle of Christoph Sis. I thought that was a great battle, and and just the stuff even the stuff where like Anakin goes back to Tatooine and Ahsoka, and then the duel with Dooku. Just great stuff, frankly.
I'll have to send you Shay Frillis' video on it, Liam.
He probably slates it, doesn't he?
He does, but he loves he loves the Clone Wars finale and he loves the Bad Batch.
No.
But I'll send you Shay Frillis' opinions on it. That'll hopefully set you straight. Here we go. Stinky the Hook, the stiff animation. See, she gets it, Laura Morgan. There we go. She's talking sense now. And I'm disgusted. I mean, how is
bloody Rogue One above all this?
How is this below a bloody?
I don't know how this is above.
Decent fun. I found this very decent fun. The bad guy director, Orson Krennic, is the perfect middle. Yeah, he was great, wasn't he? Worried his boss will take all the credit, even though he took credit from Jin's father. I found Jin a boring character, but I like the squad ragtag team. The operation itself was decent fun. I found it a bit above average personally, but not enough time with Galen or Saw Guerrillan, however I say that, nor enough time on members of the rebellion. Yeah, I respect that, fair enough, but I found it above average.
I know. I thought the best scenes were Vader's castle, the third act with the Battle of Scarif and Vader showing up. And sure, these characters are not meant to be that, well developed and meant to die at the end, which is good. But other than that, I just found a lot of the film boring, frankly.
Mercenary Pogger, Baby Yoda needs to be. That's horrible. That's horrible, Pogger. Anyway, fair enough if you found it boring. I found it quite a lot of fun. I found the final act a shit ton of fun. I feel like there was some boring dead arse bits, but at the end of the day, I felt like the bad was a bit boring. The good outweighed it by a lot, in my opinion. But each to their own.
And then this is Attack of the Clones here.
Yeah, I don't even understand why this is here. This should be low, but whatever. Whatever. We'll Yoda with the lightsaber, Dooku mocking Cobra. Yeah, that was good. Lovely day for a secret wedding. Boba, sad farewell. Yeah, that was really a shame, but it was some good character building, wasn't it? And then the bad find out Anakin's mother had been free for slavery just to get married is supposed to be uplifting. Darth Vader foreshadowing in Anakin's literal shadows. Misdirections on when Anakin would start his journey into being more machine than man. Sand. Yeah, the romance was absolutely awful. We've already reviewed all the films, so I don't want to go into too much detail about them. Force Awakens, this one's actually good, but it was just a rip-off of A New Hope, so it's like, what? It's like, imagine if you made a game, and imagine if instead of Halo ODST, imagine instead of Halo Reach, just made a game exactly like Halo 3. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, well, this is good, but like it's the exact same bloody game, so what's the point? Baby Yoda is... Oh, original Yoda is more tolerable than Baby Yoda. Be like, what? They're both... Original Yoda's an absolute don, and Baby Yoda's a legend. Both legends. All right, the first half hour, which is briskly introduced Finn and Rey as the new series. Yeah, Finn was great. Rey was a bit generic, but, decent fun. Shockingly kills off Oscar's... Yeah, that was quite crazy. That was quite a ballsy move. that shot of Ray sledding down the sand, crashing stars for us all. Yeah, fair play. BB-8 is cute. Yeah, I never mind. Poe is alive for the fun of Isaac's charisma, wholesome. Any old now to come kicks. See Harrison Ford back as Solo, but the character's prominence in the film pushes aside younger characters. The whole Resistance First Order dynamic never makes sense. It's obvious that Abrams and his collaborators just wanted to give the rebellion them, but yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But overall, I'd say the film's a bit above average, and Revengeance, if I'd say slap bang average. I don't know why it's at 6, but there you go. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you love the lore, like you're gonna love this. And subjectively, I do like it, but like objectively, the acting is just, apart from Obi-Wan, Dooku, Yoda, sort of, and Ian McDermott, and I guess C-3PO and R2 are kind of okay, but a lot of the acting is just like so. It's so odd seeing Samuel L. Jackson being like, the Sith has lost. When before he was like, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. And in Pulp Fiction, that amazing speech. How angry and lit Samuel. Where's my super suit? You know, he's a legend. He's an absolute. He gets so angry in these films and it's amazing. But to see him being like, the Sith, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what the hell is going on? And Yoda's dialogue isn't really throughout the whole prequel trilogy. Though I know that this is like the Phantom Menace when he says this, but being like, anger leads to hate leads to jealousy, suffering leads to hate leads to anger leads to hate. You know, it's sort
wrong.
Of what do you mean wrong? His dialogue is nowhere near as good as it used to be.
No, I mean you misquoted it.
Oh yeah, well I can't remember exactly what he said. Who would win, Baby Groot or Baby Yoda? Obviously, probably Baby Yoda because he can just like destroy people with the Force. Obi-Wan finally gets a good haircut. What the bloody the one previously was a good haircut.
Yeah, Attack the Clones. That was fine. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, both the haircuts were legendary. Mustafar lightsaber, Ian McDermott's opera scene. Yeah, to be fair, that was legendary. But there was the whole film, as I say, the problem with the prequels, it all just feels like you're watching a cartoon. The romance was cringe again. The battles, I guess the Order 66 was pretty cool, and the lightsaber fights, while they're good, they go on way too long. Like, as I say, after the bit where Anakin and Obi-Wan lock hands and all the volcanoes go up, that's when I sort of struggle to keep concentration because it goes on for so long. But yeah, I suppose the whole For the Republic's cool. The intro's very cool. Just the middle stuff is either cringe, weird, odd, or average. I suppose the General Grievous Obi-Wan stuff was cool. But yeah, mainly the start and the final act are the best stuff. Everything else is honestly kind of bad. I'm not going to lie. That's why it's overall average for me. But yeah, there you go. Anything you want to say, Liam?
Well, again, I have to completely disagree. I love this film. Stuff you. Yes, love it.
I thought you were going to say "fuck you," and then leave.
No, you know me. I'm
no swearing, keeping it PG, even though it's not PG because I swear loads. But yeah,
yeah.
As long as he was on Kong Skull Island, Samuel was.
But yeah, like I said, I disagree with what you said on all of that stuff. But you know, we all have our own opinions. So
yeah, Liam, I used to have the exact same opinion back in 2014. But as soon as I just started watching these films more and paying more attention, naturally, like I just sort of find them, especially the prequels, good in a way, but very odd and very weird. Like, so, a part of me loves them, but the objective film person in me realizes that they're very, very poor and the acting's strange. That's all I can, yeah. Vader's, no! That was your favourite part, Liam? No!
I mean, I was fine with that, you know.
I found it strange. Let's start. Oh, this was actually.
Why have they put that in here? Oh, why have they put that in here?
The short mini-sodes. Oh, okay. I don't even.
I know it's sort of like they've sort of made it into like a film, but it's not really a film, though. It's not a film. But it's good. It's great. It's great.
I can't believe The Last Jedi is probably at number 3. I'm
angry. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. We haven't got The Last Jedi.
Oh, damn it. I am absolute. This list shit. Should we even go on to the end?
Those Skywalker twins look hot as hell. Oh. That's a good one. Wow.
Oh, Skywalker twin. Oh yeah.
Hot as hell.
Leia killing Jabba, Luke and Vader's final fight. A second Death Star.
The
I
special edition changes. I agree with that.
Oh,
Special
yeah, that
edition
was
changes,
awful, yeah.
like with the Vader no bit there, that should not have happened. Don't know why George Lucas did that. That's stupid.
Yeah, it was so much more because I know Ben's mentioned it before on a previous podcast how Vader just like looking. You feel so much when he's just staring, and then he finally makes the decision to throw the Emperor, and you're like, yes. But instead of him being like, no, you sort of know that he's going to do it, and it's like, well, it wasn't anyway. It's okay, but it's nowhere near as good as it was originally.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like it was so much better when he was totally silent because you're like, is he going to do it? Isn't he? But as soon as he says no, you're like, oh, he's going to turn good now. Oh.
Yeah, I just wish Disney would undo those stupid changes, but
they should because they stick out. They stick out like a sore thumb in a bloody 70s film. Quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Let's look at the good and bad. Bloody hell, this
1 minute. Is this? Oh, the Last Jedi's here, is it then?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. At number 3, the throne room fight, Porgs, the gasp, including Thriller. Holdo. I mean, I think Revenge of the Sith is so much more fun than this. As much as I said it's out, I think this is honestly very bad.
This should be at the bottom. Well, at my list, it would be.
The filmmakers couldn't have known this would be one of the Carrie Fisher's last on-screen appearances, but it's still disappointing that they kept Leia unconscious for most of the movie. And again, yeah, I mean, honestly, this does not justify it being at third. Like, ridiculous. Rubbish. And then A New Hope, yeah, amazing, love it, 10 out of 10, one of the best films ever. There's so much stuff. R2D2.
Of course they've put Empire at the top. God's sake.
No, it is like the best film. It's one of the best films ever. What do you mean? How predictable? It's like
it is. Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, but so many people put it at the top, and I just find it boring. But I guess that's their opinion. Yeah, that's cool.
And then more than 4 decades later. Yeah, the lightsaber duels are a little bit boring, but I suppose it's more of like a physical sort of sword fight rather than like.
Yeah, but there are the reasons, aren't there? There are reasons, but I'm fine with it. But
yeah, same. It doesn't bother me. He slays watching Order unexplode, immediately moving on. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Luke collapsing at the sight of Aunt Beru and all, and then never mention them again. Oh, it's weird when it comes to like character development that these things didn't bother Luke or Leia. But I suppose as it's like a PG film, you don't want them getting too deep about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought
it's quite. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. I was just going to say. Actually showing the, like it says here, the charred bodies of Beru and Owen. You know, I thought that was quite dark, really.
It is, yeah, but what they're saying is obviously Luke wasn't really that bothered afterwards, and same with Leia seeing a planet get blown up. But it doesn't bother me too much. It's just a bit weird. It just sort of doesn't make sense, but there you go. And yet, one of the best films ever. There we go. Yes. Yeah, Luke screeching no. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? No! What would have been better? This is what I would have done if I was directing it. I'd just sort of have Luke look at him for a bit and then drop and then just like let go. I wouldn't have had the no. I would have just had Luke. So you think shit, like Luke's trying to kill himself.
I suppose,
that would have been so much better, wouldn't it? Than Luke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could have just, because he was saying no multiple times before that, didn't he? Wasn't he? Saying like no. And then of course, and then after Vader says,
can you do an impression of it, please? Liam, can you do an impression of it? Please, Liam, come on. Please, Liam. Come on, Liam.
No.
Please. Come on, Liam. No. I'll do it then. No, that's impossible. No. There you go. Thoughts?
But yeah, like I say, he says no multiple times, and then Vader says, search your feelings, you know this to be true, and that's when he basically just screams no.
Well, instead of the final no, he should have just dropped. That would have been so much more deep, and like, damn, that would have really shocked the viewers.
I guess.
Yeah, there we go. End of then. I think with Star Wars, everyone's got different opinions, haven't they? As I say, years ago, I used to love the prequels and think they were great. But I try and call things objectively now. Subjectively, I'll give them a watch, even though even though Phantom Menace does bore me a bit. Attack of the Clones I can laugh at, and Revenge if I can laugh at a shit ton. But yeah, this was our review of The Bad Batch. Before I ask Liam what channel content he has coming up next, just out of interest, like I do with a lot of the podcasts. Basically, I'm mostly just going to do podcasts on the channel now or streams. I'm going to try and focus on brick filming because I've managed to have a boost on my brick filming. When it comes to regular videos, I'm going to mostly focus on brick filming for now anyway. If nothing comes of it, then fair enough. But I feel like I've just got to, as I've been given, you know, quite a few views and a lot of people are enjoying it, I'm going to try and milk it a bit if I can. So, but obviously I'm going to do the podcast a bit because that is what I enjoy the most. So, because all it is clicking a button and go live. But yeah, you got any content coming up, Mr. Liam?
Just working. I was working on the last part of the Halo C highlights.
Oh, yeah, when I was cunt.
I haven't worked on it for a few days just because of like, you know, just work and just having not having as much time and as a result sort of lacking the motivation. But yeah, I've got that to finish, which I imagine shouldn't take much longer. And yeah, I guess there's the next game I'll be streaming. I'll just say it on here, you know, Crash Bash.
And then maybe Lego Star Wars the video game review. And then
eventually. Eventually. Are
you still planning on doing Crash 4 then eventually?
Crash 4?
The review of it, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, because I was going to do reviews for those games that I have streamed, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there'll be some... Yeah. Go on.
I was just sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, I just wanted to. I know no one's watching, but in case anyone does watch this, I'm still going to do George's Doctor Who series and obviously join other people's streams like Liam's Halo streams. I'm not going to like not do them. But yeah, like when it comes to normal videos on AOP, I'm just going to keep this to a podcast or stream channel. You know, I'm not going to like for now anyway. While I try and focus on brick filming a bit. So yeah, that's so. Aaron can do what he wants, so he can like spam out 50 videos. It's mine and Aaron's channel. But yeah, what were you saying, Liam? Sorry.
No, I was just saying I might have some of the videos here and there, maybe I might do. But yeah, there's just the last part of the highlights. There's the Halo C multiplayer stream.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, when we do that,
yeah, Crash Bash, Lego Star Wars video game review, other reviews eventually. And then it should be Halo 2, I think.
Hey, brilliant. Anyway, I guess we can wrap up nicely there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you. Have a good one.
See ya. Don't know why I did that. Oh. We can do this for another 30 seconds then, like at the start. Yep. Well, this is quality entertainment, isn't it? Lovely stuff. 10 out of 10.
Well, there you go, everyone. See you later.